Good morning again. I was just cut off by T-Mobile. Today is October the 30th, 2020. And I was saying that God was saying that it was His will that what she was doing in the tent. And when I asked, well, why is that your will? It was because so I can know that, something like that. Know that, no thing, or either know that or no thing. I'm not sure what he said. I think he says no thing. Um, and I guess I got to read no thing or know that. I don't get what you know. Personally, I prefer the biblical. The biblical verses that says sanctification, abstain from sexual immorality, flee youthful lust. First Corinthians that says if it's better to marry than to burn. I prefer those verses because it's simple. You understand what the writer is writing, what the writer is saying. After talking to what I think is God. Remember, I told you I'm talking to real strange spirits these days, and so I can't confirm whether or not I'm deceived by these spirits or if it's God Himself. So I gave you a warning. I'm not carrying my Bible anymore because it's not profiting. It's not profiting me anything. In other words, I have the scripture. He won't use me as a preacher. He won't use me as a pastor. He won't use me as a church planner. He won't use me as a believer to do the work of the ministry. When I ask him, what do you want me to do? He says nothing. Okay. Okay, nothing. So then what is the purpose of me carrying this book and claiming Christianity if nothing? But yet he'll allow this woman to come into my tent to have sex with me, and he'll allow these homosexuals to either threaten me, direct me to their sex store. So it's almost like, wait a minute, what happened to the man that we read about in the scriptures? Well, he's not that man anymore. Why isn't he still that man today? You people who call yourselves the church. What happened to the messianic messages and all of the pastoral ministries, and what happened to the go into the world and make disciples of the nations? It's almost like the whole thing has just been erased. It's all gone. And now what I'm dealing with is this sex in the morning, sex in the afternoon, and sex in the evening is in 24 hours, 7 days a week, sex with men and African women, sex. When I was done talking to the spirit, God, whatever, he says to me, and I said to him, well, why are you doing this? Why are you allowing her to do that? So that I can get sex from a black woman. In other words, my marriage has to be an African woman. And I'm saying I have no desire whatsoever for no African woman because of what they've done already, because they've maced me in the face, because they've neglected me as a child. I had to be raised in a foreign country by myself with a sex offender. So how can I feel any kind of love and desire for women that I despise and I hate? They're offensive to me. They're not desirable to me. And he showed me in the spirit a woman with a child in her womb. And I told him, I don't want it. Delete it. Whoever that woman is with a child in her womb, I don't want it. I don't want any African women carrying my children. I do not want your babies. I do not want you to continue my life. If you have children, if somebody put my seed in your belly, delete it, remove it. I don't want it. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but I'm trying to be real with these people, because I feel like somebody has stepped in and taken control over everything: my income, my education, my housing, my life, pretty much everything, and I think that's kind of insulting, because the life that we've been given is a gift, and this is how this government here in this building, this government here in this building, and over there in that building over there, and from a distance you can see City Hall. They don't want to defend our America, those of us that are from foreign countries who don't want to shack up with these Negroes that they consider slaves. It's not like I like slavery. I hate slavery. I'm against slavery. I'm against every form of slavery that there is. But I don't want to be forced into a relationship with a black woman because a white man offers me his ass. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with desire me because I'm a white man and I'll give you my shit. I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way with the Hispanic community or with the Asian community. I just got into almost an altercation with a man at 24 Hours who touched my personal property. And I'm like, hey, man, don't touch my shit because you want to represent Gabriel. Okay? The management there, they're hiring people to represent either Melinda or whoever in the church. And I'm supposed to remember people from Grace Community Church. Grace, do not send any blonde women or any women whatsoever to represent John's daughter and I. John's daughter and I are done. We don't have nothing. After my conversation with her in 97, that was it. I got to listen to this woman in my ear every single day. You understand what I'm saying? And it is so offensive, and it is, I mean, it's ridiculous. They take your life and they turn it into a pretzel, and they complicate it. Anyway, I was going to say something and I lost my train of thought, but anyway, this is they're still doing this. I don't know if you could see it. They're using they're using some kind of a shaver to cut this right here. And every time it heals, she goes and she cuts it with an X-Acto knife, or she cuts it with a shaver. It gets annoying, and it gets ridiculous after a while. As far as the gospel is concerned, as I've told you before, I don't see him using me in that regards at all. He's pissed off and he's angry, and he doesn't want the church. What he wants is my party, my death, and they just told me that Guy Franklin died a second time. I'm not exactly sure how many times Guy Franklin is going to die, but it seems like every time they want to bring her into my world, somebody has to assume the position of death. So I'm not sure how many times, and they're giving me hints throughout the community. It's all of them. It's the whole community of them. It's almost like you're not going to be living in the United States, and you're not going to be living as an equal. We don't want you among us as Europeans. We don't want you among us as homosexuals. We're going to force you into relations with black-skinned women. We're going to force. I mean, this is the nightmare. This is the nightmare that Grace Community Church, John MacArthur, and this Haitian family has conspired together against me. Now, explain to me how the 13th Amendment of this country, and explain to me how this emancipation is supposed to set people free. And this is, I mean, I have resumes, and I can't even use them to put them into businesses, because all the businesses have turned against me. I have money to get an apartment and in a mobile home, but these people are conspiring against me. They're forcing me to embrace a Negro that is not a member of my father's house, that is not a member of my mother's house. She reminded me this morning that my mother's lesser than her, and that my mother is the subordinate to her. She reminded me this morning, I mean, these Europeans are voluntarily listening to this shit, to this woman talking about we're her subordinates. I mean, slavery wasn't good, was a bad hit. But now this black bitch, and I call her a black bitch because it's all about sex, 24, they removed me out of the seminary so that she could focus on me and fucking me openly, publicly. I mean, there's not a place where she hasn't sucked my cock, because I'm a narcoleptic and I fall asleep. I mean, it's either at the mission, or it's on the train, it's on the bus. Wherever I go, the Haitian community is supporting her. The government, this is the entrance to the Portland Police Department right here, okay? And I've slept right there, okay? I slept right there. And there's the camera. There was a camera right, where's the camera? There's the camera right there. That's the camera, okay? You see the camera? The camera is this entire area right here. There's the camera right over there too. You see, that's the camera. So I'm sleeping right here, and this fucking bitch comes out, and the sheriff goes through here, and Portland police goes through there. And what do? All they do is sit there and watch the shit like it's television. They watch the shit like right there. This woman was sucking my dick and fucking me. I mean, you have no idea. If I showed you the places where I slept, because I can't go back into housing, this woman is sitting there openly fucking me in front of right there. There's a set of stairs right over there. That's the parking lot. Right there in the stairs, this woman is sucking my dick. I don't understand. And I apologize to those of you who are Christians, and I apologize to those of you who believe, but I hate to tell you, man, you're not getting the full information about this Christ in this generation. That was a threat from that guy right there. That was a Guy Franklin right there. Right there. Olson and Jones. Okay? This is what these people are doing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's evil. And I'm not in agreement with it. Okay, so whatever John is communicating through the radio or on television or behind a pulpit, I'm not with that shit, man. Okay, I'm not with it at all. I thought the Bible was it, and I took it. I thought the gospel was it, and I took it. I thought the seminary was it, and I took it. I thought I took everything that they gave to me until they turned the other cheek. There's nothing I could do but walk away.